Greetings, explorers of the shadows and seekers of hidden truth. Welcome to the portal of the unknown, where ancient mysteries are unveiled and the echoes of forgotten prophecies whisper through time, calling to those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Here, the veils of illusion are torn apart and the truths that many fear to reveal emerge from the depths of the unknown. Since time immemorial, secrets have been buried, erased from official records, and concealed from humanity. But as we approach the final days, these truths begin to surface, demanding to be acknowledged. Are they merely stories of the past or warnings of what is yet to come? Were they intentionally erased or simply ignored? Here we cross the threshold between reality and the hidden, exploring the signs engraved in ancient scriptures, unraveling the invisible connections between what was and what will be. Nothing happens by chance. Nothing remains hidden forever. Lost knowledge awaits those who dare to seek it. Prepare for a journey where each revelation leads to more questions. Are you ready to face the truth the world does not want you to know? Then step forward, for the portal of the unknown is open, and the path to the hidden is only just beginning. Today, we dive into a story banned from the pulpits, a tale as dark as it is revealing, the fall of Azazel. Hidden within the shadows of ancient texts, this narrative was deliberately silenced, erased from mainstream teachings because it holds truths too disturbing to be easily accepted. Who was Azazel? Was he just another fallen angel, or was he something far more profound, deeply entwined with humanity's darkest secrets? His name echoes through the most hidden corners of Scripture, mentioned cryptically in the Book of Enoch, Jewish traditions, and even occult texts. But why was he exiled? What did he do to deserve a fate even worse than Lucifer's? More importantly, what was Azazel's impact on humanity? His influence was not confined to the celestial realm. He shaped the fate of the world, leaving an irreversible mark on history. He was the one who taught humanity forbidden knowledge, unveiling secrets that heaven never intended to share. He was the one who corrupted mankind, leading them down a path of no return. But there is something even more terrifying about this story: his connection to the Nephilim, the giants of old. Could Azazel have been the architect behind the hybridization of fallen angels and humans? Did his influence give rise to an unholy lineage, a race that defied divine law and plunged the earth into chaos? These questions echo through the ages, waiting for those brave enough to face the hidden truth within the shadows. Today, we unveil what was buried. Today, we uncover the secrets of Azazel's fall. The Book of Enoch, chapter 8, verse 1, reveals a shocking truth. And Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, and he showed them the metals of the earth and how to work them. But what does this truly mean? To many, this passage might seem like a simple ancient account of technological advancements, but the truth runs much deeper and darker. Azazel did not merely rebel against God, he brought rebellion to earth, intertwining himself with humanity's fate and corrupting divine creation. He did not just teach metallurgy, he introduced war, violence, and destruction to a world that had never known such things before. Before Azazel, mankind lived in harmony, but with his forbidden knowledge, men began wielding weapons, fighting against one another, and pursuing power above all else. He sowed chaos, and the world was never the same again. But this was only the beginning. Azazel's gifts extended beyond weapons. He revealed secrets of enchantments, adornments, and cosmetics, teaching women the arts of seduction and manipulation, twisting divine purposes and transforming purity into unrestrained desire. He did not just grant knowledge to humanity, he shattered their innocence, plunging the world into darkness and pulling it further away from the Creator. And what was the result of his corruption? The Book of Enoch tells us that the Nephilim, the giant hybrids born from the union of fallen angels and human women, spread destruction and terror across the earth. They consumed all resources, devastated cities, and when there was no more food, they began to devour humans themselves. The world became a reflection of hell, and all of it stemmed from the corruption sown by Azazel. The impact of his actions was so catastrophic that God decreed an unprecedented judgment. The Great Flood was not merely a punishment, it was a reset, a necessary cleansing to wipe out the poisoned fruits of the fallen angel's interference. But even after his condemnation, Azazel's legacy endured. The echoes of his influence can still be felt in the modern world. Did we truly escape his corruption? Or is the forbidden knowledge he introduced still shaping humanity today? But Azazel's influence did not stop there. His corruption spread like a plague, leading other watchers to follow his example. These fallen angels, consumed by forbidden desire, descended to earth, shattering the barriers between the divine and the human. And then the unthinkable happened. They took human women, and from this profane union came forth the Nephilim. Hybrid beings of immense strength, insatiable destruction, and a hunger that knew no bounds. Genesis 6:4 describes this event in an enigmatic passage. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. But what does this passage truly mean? Is it merely a metaphor? Or is Genesis revealing a truth that many have tried to suppress? The Nephilim were not just ordinary giants, they were abominations, the result of an unholy union that was never meant to be. Unlike anything in God's creation, they wielded supernatural strength, dominated humanity, and imposed a reign of terror. But there is something even more disturbing about this story. The passage states that the Nephilim existed in those days and also afterward. After what? The flood was sent to wipe these creatures from the face of the earth, to eradicate their corrupted bloodline. Yet this verse suggests they returned, that their lineage somehow endured. Could the threat of the Nephilim have transcended time itself? Ancient records across civilizations speak of colossal beings, divine hybrids who ruled with an iron fist. Are these mere myths or remnants of a buried truth? One thing is certain, the shadows of the Nephilim still loom over humanity. If they truly survived, what does that mean for our future? Could we unknowingly be coexisting with their descendants? Are we standing on the precipice of their return? The echoes of Azazel's corruption have not faded. His legacy may have been interrupted, but not. What other secrets lie hidden between the lines of history? The corruption brought by Azazel was so deep, so ingrained in the heart of humanity, that the Creator himself decreed a definitive sentence. The world that once flowed in harmony was now drowned in chaos, violence, and perversion. The Nephilim ravaged the land, men surrendered to sin without remorse, and darkness spread like an uncontrollable plague. There was no return. Then the judgment was sealed. God saw that wickedness had dominated everything, that creation had been irreversibly corrupted. And that was when the sentence came, the flood, a total purification. Not just a simple storm, but a cataclysmic destruction, a divine extinction that would erase the forbidden legacy of the fallen angels and their hybrid descendants. It was the end of a corrupted era and the beginning for humanity. But if the world suffered an unrelenting judgment, Azazel's fate was even darker. Enoch chapter 10 verse 4 describes his condemnation in chilling detail. And the Lord said to Raphael, "Bind Azazel hand and foot and cast him into the darkness. Open the desert that is in Dudael and throw him there." This punishment was a symbol of what happens to those who defy divine order. While other fallen angels were cast into the abyss, Azazel received an even crueler fate. He not only lost his celestial glory, but he was buried alive, sealed in profound darkness, imprisoned in a place forgotten by time where his existence became an eternal torment. Dudael, a desert of desolation, became his tomb, a place where not even the light of God could reach. But why was this punishment so extreme? What made Azazel be condemned in a way more brutal than the other watchers? The answer may lie in the impact of his corruption. He did not only disobey God, he destroyed the innocence of humanity, taught secrets that should never have been revealed, and defiled creation itself. He distorted the divine balance irreparably. But did this story really end? If Azazel is sealed, why does his name still echo through the ages? The desert of Dudael is just a forgotten place, or is there something more, something that remains hidden? Was he waiting for a release? Or worse, was his influence never really erased from the world? But has Azazel's influence truly disappeared? This question echoes in our time, as the repercussions of his rebellion still seem to reverberate in the present. What once seemed like a final punishment, a divine cleansing meant to eliminate his legacy, may have not been sufficient. The hidden truth is that Azazel's corruption left a deep mark, a seed of destruction that, even with the flood, may have never been completely eradicated. His influence might have only been temporarily suppressed, but the seeds of evil he planted still seem to be growing in the heart of humanity. We now live in an era where knowledge is multiplying at an accelerated rate. Technological advancements emerge every day, and while many of them bring significant benefits, others cross the boundaries of ethics and morality. What was once considered unthinkable is now becoming an everyday reality. It is as if humanity is, in some way, following a path already traveled, repeating the same mistakes of the past. Are we allowing once again forbidden knowledge to corrupt our hearts and minds, just as Azazel did? Modern technology, for example, offers immense power in humanity's hands, but the ethics that should guide this power seem to be fading. Artificial intelligence, genetic manipulation, biotechnology, destructive weaponry, these are the swords and knives of today that humanity now masters. They are powerful tools, but also dangerous when used without wisdom or discernment. And just as Azazel taught humanity to forge weapons, we are now unknowingly creating our own tools of self-destruction. Moreover, humanity seems increasingly distant from universal moral principles. Power and ambition dominate political, social, and economic spheres, just as in Azazel's time. And as if the corruption of morality weren't enough, we also see the disrespect for divine laws. Relationships, family values, and the search for purpose and spirituality appear to be replaced by an obsession with power, pleasure, and accumulation. The big question is, are we repeating Azazel's mistakes? Are we, unknowingly, heading towards an abyss similar to the one the flood brought to the world? Could the Nephilim of today be more than just mythological creatures, but manifestations of the forces that challenge natural and divine laws? Azazel's legacy doesn't fade easily. His influence persists, and perhaps it is more present than ever. Boundless knowledge, power without responsibility, the absence of morality. Are we blind to the signs that should warn us of the mistakes we are about to make? The story of Azazel is not just an ancient tale, but a timeless warning, a resonating echo that travels across the centuries. Arrogance, the insatiable quest for power, and the desire to control what was reserved for God alone were the seeds of his fall. These same vices that corrupted Azazel and the other watchers in the past are alive and present in the modern world, like invisible forces attempting to manipulate the course of humanity. Azazel was not just an angel who rebelled against God, but a being who defied the divine order, believing he could alter the cosmic balance in his favor. He was not content with the power given to him, but wanted more, seeking to control that which did not belong to him: human destinies, natural and spiritual laws, everything that God had reserved for himself. His pride and ambition were the reasons for his fall, and the corruption he spread through humanity was a direct reflection of that rebellion against divine authority. This same mentality of wanting to control the uncontrollable is repeating itself today. We live in a world where power and domination have become insatiable desires, where humanity seeks to reach the limits of the divine through advanced scientific and technological knowledge. The difference is that, unlike Azazel, who dealt with spiritual forces he could not fully comprehend, today the tools of power are in our hands. Technology, genetic manipulation, artificial intelligence, bioengineering, all of these innovations can be incredible for the good of humanity, but they can also bring disastrous consequences when used without proper moral discernment. Are we walking in Azazel's footsteps by desiring to control what should be left in God's hands? The insatiable desire for power is also seen in a world obsessively focused on wealth accumulation and the conquest of status, as if these were the ultimate goals of life. Azazel and his followers were also thirsty for dominion, not just over the earth, but over humanity. And this same impulse can be seen in many of the power structures that govern the modern world. Politicians, business leaders, public figures, all are tempted by the same pride that destroyed Azazel and brought about his eternal punishment. The arrogance of thinking we can control the fate of the world without the fear of God is one of the greatest mistakes we can make. Therefore, the story of Azazel is not just a tale of condemnation, but also an urgent warning. It is a cry against those who, like him, believe they can defy the laws of God and manipulate the fate of creation for their own selfish ends. Azazel paid a high price for his pride, and his story teaches us that the relentless pursuit of power without considering the spiritual consequences can destroy everything that is precious. So, how can we avoid repeating Azazel's mistakes? The answer lies in repentance, humility, and in respecting divine laws. Instead of seeking to dominate, we should serve. Instead of wanting to control, we should submit our wills to God's will. The story of Azazel is not a distant tale. It is a living lesson that constantly alerts us to the dangers of straying from the divine order. If you wish to uncover more secrets like this, subscribe to the Portal of the Unknown, turn on the notifications, leave a like, and share this video. Hidden truths are waiting to be revealed for those who dare to look beyond the veil and seek the answers that many prefer to ignore. This is just the beginning of a journey that goes beyond the boundaries of understanding. Join us and keep exploring the unknown.